Hello, my friends. So this is just going to be a rant, and this rant is going to be understanding reality and understanding the truth of the facts of why we are here today. So stick around. So what do I mean by this? I mean that every single one of us, that means you who are watching, you are here, alive, eating, hopefully with a roof over your head and maybe a little bit of money in your pocket, because your ancestors survived to this day. There are countless, faceless, nameless people whose lines died. Their genetic line went so far, they came to an end, and they stopped. So, we are incredibly lucky to be here right now. Some of us are in a better position than others. Some of us are struggling to get by, but we are here. And this rant was sparked by a video that I was watching where somebody was talking about their privilege, how their ancestors had trampled on other people to be where they are. And yes, I can understand that in this sensitive age that we are, where we are trying to be more aware of what we can do today and what we can do for tomorrow. However, we can't do anything about yesterday. It's done. And we can look back at a lot of very key points of history. And if it would have gone to the left instead of to the right, I might not be here. You might not be here. That's a very good thing to think about. The reason that you and I are here today is because everything went right for all of our ancestors leading up to this point. Life before the internet, before television, before all of this mass media, before electricity, before we had really strong governments and political places of power that kind of stopped a lot of the small tribal fighting that was going on throughout the entire world. It's not just limited to one area. It happens throughout the world. There were people who would go and take whatever you had. They would probably kill you, possibly take your wife, your daughter, your sister, possibly kill them, maybe take them as slaves, maybe rape them. There are all kinds of horrible, horrible things that our bloodline, our ancestors went through, survived. And a lot of us, if we had the ability to invent a time machine and go back, there is probably a point in time where our line rested upon two things. One, having the resources to survive. The other one, not having the resources. And that person taking the resources from the other one to survive. The truth, the reality, is there, standing, breathing, beating inside of you. So, yes, we have to understand what has happened in the past. But the reason things happen in the past is for survival. Now we fast forward to this great society that we have today, and we have the internet, and we have the electricity, and we have a refrigerator where we can store our food. We have all of these things that we can take for granted, and none of us, absolutely none of us today watching this video are probably ever going to watch someone starve to death in front of us. We might, but chances are most of us are not going to have to witness that. Most of us are not going to have someone kick in our door and have absolutely no defense except whatever's in front of us to protect ourselves. It might happen, but, chances are we can call the police, we can do something else about it. So it's really easy to judge our ancestors from our vantage point and judge what they have done to survive to this point and make them out to be these horrible, terrible, awful people. I don't know. Maybe they are awful, horrible, terrible people. But I'm here and you are here because they survived. However they survived, I don't know how they survived. Maybe they survived just kind of skirting along the sides and just kind of, not bothering anybody, but they just kind of skirted along the side and, never got into any conflict, never had to defend themselves, never had to go and take something from someone else, but they just kind of skirted along. But not everybody did. There were a lot of people who did something to survive. So I'm not trying to justify the actions of our ancestors. I'm just trying to give a little perspective to it and understand that where we're at today is a pretty cushy position considering 500, 1,000, 2,000 years ago. And there's another thing that I want to point out, and that is every single culture has been under the threat of having an invading force come in and take their land from them. And history is filled with people coming in and taking land, and then those people later on coming and taking the land back. It's throughout history. It has happened. People have been enslaved. Nearly every single culture in the entire world has been involved in that one way or another. So, anyhow, with the season of Samhain coming around, when you light a candle for your ancestors, think about that ancestor's ancestor, and that ancestor's ancestor, and that ancestor's ancestor, going all the way back. Because you are alive today, and you can trace your DNA line all the way back to probably Lucy in the savannah of Africa, and possibly even before that. That's a lot of survival. And not all of it was pretty. That's just the way it is. This has been Lilokin. Thank you, and blessed be.